Hi, welcome back to Healing Your Heart, Yoga and Meditation for Grief and Loss. I'm Joan Ordilli, supervisor of Samaritan's bereavement program and facilitator of the Healing Your Heart Grief Support Group. Today's practice will focus on the second or sacral chakra, located a couple inches below the navel and in the lumbar portion of the spine. The second chakra has to do with creativity, emotions, the unconscious, our senses, the ability to feel pleasure, and relationships. It's also associated with the color orange and the element water. Consider water flowing. A healthy second chakra allows our emotions to flow, allows our creativity to flow, and we move well through our day-to-day experience. A blocked second chakra can impede our flow of emotions, creativity, the ability to feel and experience pleasure, as well as our feelings of personal choice. Also associated with the sacral chakra are the adrenal glands, where our stress response is located. Grief and loss are often accompanied by feelings of guilt, fear, anger, shame. These can be a normal part of the grief experience of having lost someone that you care about. If you're having difficulty moving through your experience, difficulty with day-to-day life, I'm going to suggest you might want to consult a grief professional or join a grief support group. Journaling can also be helpful, or just finding a trusted friend that you can talk to and be honest with. I also hope that you'll find this series helpful for your grief experience. Before we begin today's practice, I want to leave you with a couple of reminders. First of all, not every pose in its fullest expression is right for every body. This series is designed for people who are new to yoga as well as people who have a regular yoga practice. Many of the poses have several variations that are suggested. Don't push yourself into poses that aren't right for your body today. In the resources, I've included a list of contraindications for some of the poses. I suggest that you take a minute and look that over. You need to know your own body and your own limitations. The yoga poses should not cause pain. To avoid injury, again, don't push yourself to the fullest expression of the poses if you're not ready for that. The series provides instruction for a floor to standing practice, as well as a seated practice and some variations in between. Let's get started with today's practice with these reminders in your frame of reference. Today's practice for the second chakra will begin with some Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. So raising the right hand, making a peace sign, and then reversing it, bringing the hand in front of the nose, inhaling through both nostrils, covering the right nostril, and exhaling through the left. Inhale left. Pause. Cover the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Pause. Cover the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Cover the left. Exhale right. Continue a few more rounds of alternate nostril breathing at your own pace. To finish, inhale through your right nostril. Cover the right, exhale through the left. Drop the hand down and begin normal 3-part breath. Nadi Shodhana has several benefits. It's said to balance the right and left hemisphere of the brain, increase lung capacity, and to regulate the central nervous system. Let's get started with some movement. Inhaling, arms up. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale. And exhale. And one more. Inhale up. Take the left hand across the body and the right hand behind and come into a twist. Get length on the inhale and twisting through that mid and upper back on the exhale. Be mindful of the position of your sacral bone. Inhale, come through center, and exhale to the other side. Stay for 3 breaths. Inhale through center, and exhale, arms down. I'm going to come off my cushion and take a block or a book coming down onto the back and practicing bridge pose. So the feet will be in by the buttocks, the knees up, the feet no more than hips distance apart. And we'll do a few rounds of breath and movement into low bridge. So inhale and dip your tailbone into the floor, lifting the lower back. Exhale, flatten the back onto the floor. Inhale, coming up into a half bridge pose. And exhale, tilting the tailbone upward and rolling down one vertebra at a time. And inhale, lifting the lower back, tailbone into the floor. Exhale, start to lift the tailbone, lower back on the floor. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, rolling back down. And this time, we're going to take a block and place it underneath that sacral bone. Whatever position feels comfortable for your body. So this is a resting, a restorative position. And you might be fine here. You might get a good stretch with a block or a book in a low position. Or you might want to go a little bit higher. Shoulders are under the body. Knees are extending. Almost like there's a rubber band with some tension between the knees, but you could almost put another block there. And breathe. And relax into this position. Feel the sacral area just relaxing onto that block. And one more breath. On the next inhale, lift the hips and move the block aside and roll back down onto your back. Bringing the knees into the chest and making some circles with the knees. Rolling on that sacral area, massaging the sacral. And other direction with the knees. And one more time, hugging the knees into the chest. Rolling onto the side and coming into tabletop position with the wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Taking some of the weight into the pads of the fingers, where the palm meets the fingers, and into the fingers themselves, so that all of the weight's not being taken into the wrist. Let's do some cat-cow. So on an inhale, lifting the tailbone, lifting the collarbones, the gaze is up, and exhale. The gaze goes between the legs, the tailbone drops. Inhale and exhale, lifting the back. Inhale, opening the chest, lifting the tailbone. Exhale and coming to neutral and taking a breath. We'll transition into a lunge, so the right foot comes out between the hands. If you have any tenderness in that left knee, you can fold your mat or place a blanket under the knee. Placing the hands right above the knee. Now this might be a good stretch for you. Be mindful that the knee doesn't go in front of the ankle, so move those toes forward if you need to. If you'd like to reach those arms up, being mindful of the position of the sacrum, tailbone tilting forward. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down. Moving the buttocks back. Starting to straighten that front leg. And you might still keep a bend to the knee. Moving forward. Right knee back. And placing the left foot between the hands. Again, making sure that the knee aligns with the ankle. Placing the hands on the knee and coming into your low lunge with the hands on the knee, or lifting the arms. Exhale, hands come down. Moving the hips back, lifting and flexing the foot. Again, knee can stay bent, or the knee can extend straight. Pulling that foot back to the floor and coming back to tabletop, where we'll do 2 more rounds of cat-cow. This time exhaling back into child's pose. You might want to move those knees out towards the edge of the mat. Arms stretched out in front of you, extended child pose, where we'll stay for a couple of breaths. To make this more of a restorative pose, I'm going to bring my arms back by my sides. Bring the hands under the shoulders and lifting up. If it's available, coming up on the knees into Camel Pose. So curling the toes under and making fists and placing them right at the top of the sacral bone. Now this open chest with the fists right below the waist might be a good stretch for you today. And so I would ask you to stay here for a few breaths. If you have a yoga practice and you're feeling flexible this morning, if you'd like to go a little further, you can reach back for the heels. And when you're ready, moving the chest forward, uncurling the toes, and we'll start to come up to a standing position. So coming into Tadasana, or mountain pose, lifting the toes, spreading the toes and laying them down on the floor. Energetically lifting the knees and engaging the thighs, tilting the tailbone slightly forward, engaging the abdominals. Shoulders away from the ears and on the back, chin parallel to the floor. Imagine a bungee cord from the top of your head, giving just a little bit more lift to the spine. And on an inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms by the side. Inhale, arms up. Take a hold of the right wrist with the left hand and willow over to the left side. Inhale, come up, switch the right hand, holding the left wrist, and willow over to the right. Coming up, inhale, exhale, arms down by your sides. Stepping the feet about 3 feet apart and taking the left foot and pivoting so that it's pointing straight ahead and lifting that right heel and pivoting the right heel so that there's a slight angle, and coming into Trikhanasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, start to move the hips to the back and the ribs forward. And then windmill the left hand down and the right arm comes up. Gaze can be straight ahead or looking up at that outstretched arm. Be mindful of the position of your sacrum and the alignment of your spine, breathing. Next inhale, lifting with the top arm, pivoting the feet in the opposite direction, and finding Trikhanasana on the other side. We'll stay for 3 breaths. Next inhale, lifting with the top arm. Place hands on the hips, heel toe, just one time. Now, pivot the feet so that the toes are facing the corner of the mat. We're going to come into Katakanasana, or Goddess Pose. Bending the arms. Knees are pointing in the direction of the feet. And if this is available to you, on an inhale, get length. And on an exhale, bending the knees. Inhale, come up. Exhale. And one more time. And stay for a breath. If this bothers your knees, please come out of the pose. Inhaling and exhale, heel toe, the feet back together. We're going to transition back down onto the mat now. So starting back in tabletop, we're going to go into Pigeon Pose, and I'm going to offer several different variations for this pose. One with the fullest extension of the pose for those who have a regular yoga practice, one on the back, and the other from the chair. So if you're going into Pigeon Pose from tabletop, bring your right knee towards your right wrist. Now, some of you might have your calf parallel to the front of the mat. Mine doesn't quite do that. Stretching that left leg out behind you. And if you need a block to keep the hips level on the same plane, you might want to tuck a block underneath that right hip. I'm going to open my chest, place hands on the floor, and come down onto my forearms. For some, this might be enough of a stretch. Moving the right hip back and the left hip forward just a little bit so that they're even. Pigeon Pose is a wonderful pose for relaxing the hips, letting go of stress. It's associated, the hip area, with the fight or flight response. This is about letting our emotions move and flow through our body naturally. Some of you might want to stretch out on the floor. And imagine the orange glow of your sacral area, letting go of stress and allowing your emotions to flow. Coming up out of the pose. And going to the other side. Finding whichever variation of Pigeon Pose works for your body today. Not pushing yourself to go further than what your body is willing and open for. Finding a comfortable edge. And again, picturing the orange glow of the chakral area. Letting go. And from here, let's open the knees and bring the toes together, bringing the buttocks back to the heels and coming into extended child pose once again. Or bringing the arms down by your sides. Placing the hands under the shoulders and coming up and coming back into seated position to practice Katakanasana or bound angular pose. So rocking from side to side so that you're feeling seated on those sits bones with the feet together, soles of the feet together. You have a diamond shape here. Now you can move your feet further from your body if you're a little bit tighter through the hip area, or you can move the feet in closer to the body. So on an inhale, I'm going to hold on to my ankles. You can be holding your calves or hands wrapped around the feet. Get length, and exhale. Just start to come forward, keeping the chest open. And breathing. wherever your body finds a comfortable edge is where you'll stay and focus your breath, breathing into the sacral area. And if it's available, you might want to round into a deeper surrender. And placing the hands back on the ankles or the calves and coming up. Articulating the knees towards each other and stretching the legs out in front. And once again, rocking from side to side to find the sits bones. I'm going to bring my left foot in and place it on my upper thigh. I'm going to go into another forward bend, Shavasana. Inhaling, arms up, and exhaling with a flat back, beginning to move forward. Keeping the chest open, letting the hands come to the thigh, or the calf, or the ankle, or maybe wrapping around the foot. And surrendering into the pose on an exhale. So stay where you are in the pose. For some, you're going to be here. As long as you're getting a nice stretch through the lower back, it's a good pose for you. And inhaling, coming up, and let's go to the other side. And coming forward with a flat back and an open chest, and letting the hands drift down wherever they may fall. And again, finding your comfortable edge in this pose. And surrendering, letting the head fall in the background. Keeping the foot flexed. If you're really tight in the lower back, you might want to have a rolled up blanket under that extended knee, giving it a little bend. That might give you a little bit more stretch in the lower back. And inhale, walk the hands in. Exhale. So let's place the feet on the floor, about hips distance apart, and just let the knees fall from side to side. And coming back to stillness. And from here, once again, transitioning onto the back. Bringing again the feet in towards the buttocks. And bringing the outside edge of the feet to the outside edge of the mat and letting the knees fall together. Now, if this is not available to you in this position, you might want to take a block and place it between the knees if your knees aren't going to be touching each other. I'm going to do resting pose without the block. So lifting the chest, laying the sacrum down flat onto the floor. Taking the arms across the chest with the elbows up, almost like you're giving yourself a nice hug. Once again, this pose for the sacral area allows the hips to relax. Open the arms and cross them so the other arm is closer to your face. and stay for a few more breaths. Again, picturing the orange glow of your sacral area. Moving away from a fight or flight response and allowing emotions to move and release. And then bringing the arms back down by your side, lifting the chest and moving the feet towards each other and stretching the legs out along the floor. Letting the feet fall out and coming into Shavasana or final relaxation. I'll take you through a brief guided meditation during Shavasana. Allow yourself to feel cradled by the earth, held and safe. Starting at the tip of your toes, scan your body and breathe into any areas of holding or discomfort. Letting go of any holding on the exhale. Focus on the softness of your breath as it enters and soothes and leaves the body and then begins again. If your mind starts to wander, and it likely will, bring it back to your breath, feeling the coolness of the breath as it enters your body and touches the area above your lip. Feel the warmth of the breath as it leaves the body. And then again, feeling the coolness of the breath on the inhale. Doing nothing to change it, just observe the breath. And in your mind's eye, begin to picture a beautiful, glowing sunset. Notice the orange glow that radiates from the setting sun. Let that orange glow bathe you in relaxation. With the knowledge that as the sun dips below the horizon, it will rise again. Bring some movement to your fingers and toes. into your wrists and your ankles, making small circles. Place your feet on the floor with your knees up to the ceiling, bending the right arm and rolling onto the right side, cradling the head in the arm, the knees bent, taking a few breaths in embryo. I honor self-expression through my creativity. I honor and express my feelings. I am unique. Come back up to a seated position. Bring your hands together at your heart chakra. Namaste. I look forward to seeing you next time.